I'm Madison Duffstein, this is Jackson Elliott, and we're doing our science fair project on vermicomposting. Our teachers are Mr. Holland and Ms. Fawcett, and vermicomposting is the use of worms to create fertilizer. The independent variable is the type of food fed to the worms, which was the apples and tomatoes. The dependent variable was the weight of the worms because the weight of the worms depends on the food we fed them. The control variable begins with the weight of the worms, weight of the food fed, amount of newspaper and soil put into the, what was it called?
Yeah, it was called a terrarium.
The
Terrarium.
And the temperature and humidity. The average humidity was...
That's when I come in. No, the average temperature was 74 and the average humidity was 65 in the middle of that range. And then, okay, so this is our graph right here. It's just a bar graph of our trials, trial 1, 2, and 3 of the experiment. So what the procedure was, we have 75 grams of newspaper. We take the terrarium, we split it in half with a waterproof folder, and we take 75 grams of newspaper, put that on both sides, and 100 grams of soil, and put that on both sides. And then what we did, and this is trial 1, we put 1.2 grams of red wigglers, and that's 6 worms on each side. That weighed a total of 1.2 grams. We calculated 1/4 of that weight, which was 1.3. And so every day we fed the purple divided side 0.3 grams of apples, and the orange divided side 0.3 grams of tomatoes. And then after 10 days of doing that, we extracted the worms, and the purple divided side was fed apples. Their weight was 1.4, so they increased by 0.2 grams. And the orange divided side, which was fed tomato, their final weight was 1.5, so they increased by 0.3 grams. So with that one, the tomatoes won by 0.1 grams. Trial 2, our results were inconclusive because we started off with 1.5 grams of red wigglers in each side, just 6 worms. And what happened was when we went to extract the worms, we could not find the 5th worm on the purple divided side, which was fed apples. But with the 5 worms that we did have, they weighed 1.4 grams, which means they lost 1 gram because we could not find the 6th worm. And then, so that was inconclusive. But the tomato side, the final weight was 1.7, which means it increased by 0.2 grams. And then with the third trial, each side got 6 worms again, a little bit bigger this time, so it was 4.5 grams on each side. And after 10 days, they were in. Each time on trial 2, we split it in half. We by 1/4. We divided the 1.5 by 1/4, so each side was fed 0.4 grams. And then with this with the 4.5 grams on each side, we split it by 1/4, so each side was fed 1.1 grams of the food that they eat, either apples or tomatoes, depending on which side they're on. After 10 days, when they were taken out, both sides weighed 5.1 grams, which meant both sides increased by 0.6. So that's why our results were inconclusive, because in our conclusion, the first trial, the tomatoes won. Second trial, inconclusive because we couldn't find the 6th worm. And then the third trial, it
was a tie.
Yeah, it was a tie. So it was really it doesn't really matter what you feed them, really. It's just going to be in the average same amount of weight. And that's about it.
That was our science fair, guys.
It was hard. Pain in the butt. Here, hit the button.